all, it's the overall All-Ireland series, and we felt it was about time that we brought them all together and allowed everybody to see the draws and to see exactly how the draw is made in each of the provinces. There are slight variations which you'll see on the night, and the Ulster draw is the reverse of last year's. So we actually know the pairings for the Ulster draw, unfortunately, but for all the other three provinces, for the hurling and football, we'll have the draws on the night, and there will be a lot of excitement attached to it, and we'll be waiting to see if we'll get the big guns in the first round or if they'll wait for the final stages or how it will all work out. So it should be very exciting in 2 weeks' time.
What adds to the interest, obviously, Liam, at the moment is the fact that there is now open draws in three of the provinces, you said Ulster being the exception, so you don't know who's going to come out against who.
That's right. We all know of the experience last year when everybody was talking about possibly having a repeat Leinster final of Meath and Dublin, and they came out in the first round. And you never know, we might have the same type of experience again, or in Munster there can be a lot of exciting pairings in both the hurling and the football, and same thing goes for all the provinces, and that's one of the great things about a championship draw, that you have to take the draw as it comes, and you just get one chance, and very good teams can fall by the wayside at an early stage. So that's the glamour of the championship, really.
Kieran Barr, the growth of the open draw, the expansion of the open draw, is that something that you would welcome in Gaelic games?
It would be, but unfortunately, you know, the Ulster Hurling Championship and the Connacht Hurling Championship aren't at a stage yet where we can have a realistic possibility of an All-Ireland series. In a sense, the All-Ireland series is cut short by not having full championships in those provinces, and it's something in the future I would hope to see, that we have strong hurling in those two provinces, that we can have a draw and people will be saying, well, will Antrim or will Down or will Derry get out of Ulster this year, and what's the draw and who's going to meet? But it has heightened the interest, and I think it's a good thing that we have an open draw at provincial level, because basically that's all you need, because the rest of it is structured properly after that.
The difficulty, Liam, with the hurling championship is something that's obviously not lost on the powers that be in Gaelic games.
Without a doubt, it I suppose has been heightened by the fact of having three teams coming through in successive years in Gaelic football, and that's something which rarely has happened indeed in the game of hurling, that you have such a turnaround, and having two new counties winning in successive years the All-Ireland title in football has been a great boost for the game, and has given every other county that has never won an All-Ireland in football a feeling that if Donegal can do it and if Derry can do it, there's no reason why we can't do it. But in the game of hurling, other than the breakthrough of Offaly in recent years, we haven't seen new counties coming through, and other than Galway having had one All-Ireland previously, we really haven't seen anyone coming to the fore, and there are a few indeed of the traditional counties such as Clare and Wexford and Waterford, and I think a lot of people would like to see them coming back into the limelight again. So hurling could do with a bit more of an evening up of standards, and we're well aware of that ourselves.
Well, Liam, one exciting development that is definitely up and running at the moment is the replacement of the old Cusack stand. Next year, what will the situation be with the Cusack, say, coming to big championship matches at Croke Park? Will it be there? Won't it be there? When's it going to be finished?
The plans are to have most of the bottom tier of the new stand ready for the Leinster football final, and so that for the Leinster football final, the All-Ireland semi-finals and the All-Ireland final, that we should have basically more or less the same capacity as we've had for this year's All-Irelands. There will be a drop of a couple of thousand in the capacity for next year's major games, but only a couple of thousand. The full facilities obviously won't be completed in the stand, but we hope our patrons will actually accept that on the basis of what we're aiming to do. Then the builders will go back in immediately after the All-Ireland series, and it's intended to have the work finished by April of 1994. So that's the schedule. Whether it will all work out exactly according to plan, of course, is another question. The weather will have a lot got to do with it, and many other factors.
Well, I'm sure it will all work out. You said in another interview recently that basically you're calling on the corporate sector through the corporate boxes sale to pay for most of this development. The boxes were something like 150 grand, I think, for the 10-year ones, is it? How's that been going?
That's been going very well. In fact, that is true that we have unashamedly, for the first time, decided that we will give facilities to the corporate sector in Croke Park, and we're asking the corporate sector, which is getting approximately 10% of the seats in the new stand, to pay 50% of the cost of it. So it's a major challenge to us, and it's a major challenge indeed to the business sector in Ireland. The take-up has been very good. So far, slightly more than half the boxes have already been sold, and approximately 35% of the Cusick Club seats have also been sold. And we will be announcing next week the seats which we had reserved for our own units for the GAA clubs have now been sold out. So, so far it has gone very well, but there's still a lot of money to get in. But we are confident.
You in Dublin. See you then.